Hello, this is GV Bello again, and you're also welcome to my studio. Here's the last time we learned how to make Iro and Buba. By the way, have you sewn your Iro and Buba? Yes, make sure you try it because you've graduated and we are moving also into something very simple. Like I said, this is learning to sew. You have to start from something that is simple, then you graduate into the more complicated styles. Do you understand? Don't go and start from somewhere that you get frustrated easily. So we are doing another simple style today, and it's going to be those simple stylish people with cut together sleeve like the one I'm putting on. You can see my shoulder is joined to the sleeve, something like this. Then it's going to belong to your ankle. That is what we are sewing today. So go and look for one ankara in your wardrobe, the one that you've sewn that is length, and let's do something like this. This is what I'm talking about. This simple stylish people that people put on casually. They also wear it to the market. You can use your chiffon to sew it, you can use ankara to sew it. Some people will use lace to sew it and wear it, then emboss it and wear it for parties. But because you are starting as a learner, I would suggest that you just use ankara. It is easier for you to sew. Now don't go and use chiffon. No, you start struggling with it. I don't want you to have issue. I don't want you to give up on sewing. You understand? So start from something that is simple. Then with time, as you perfect your sewing skills, then you can use any other thing. So you need just 3 basic measurements to make a bubu like this, a long one. You need, and if you can look at it, if you can see that it's even very similar to how we made our buba. Yes, even the cutting is very similar. You will not find out here. Okay, so you need 3 basic measurements. You need your length, full length, because this one is going to get to our ankle. You can also stop your hole at your knee. It depends on whatever you want. But this one, sample measurement, is going to be long. So from your shoulder to your ankle, that's the first measurement. Second measurement, you take your back to sleeve from the center of your neck, back of your neck, at the back of your neck, from the center back of your neck, across one part of your shoulder, then to your arm. You can see that this one I'm putting on, I didn't allow you to pass my elbow. Yes, your own can even be shorter. Depends on how smart or how you want it. You understand? So you take the back to sleeve measurement from the center back of your neck like that. Take the tape down to your hand, wherever you want it to get over. Ensure that it doesn't pass your elbow. That's the second measurement. Then the third measurement is the wideness. It's the roundness of your body. And when we were doing buba didn't get to the hip, so we didn't consider the hip measurement. But this time around, because this bubu is going to pass your hip, we are going to consider the hip measurement. And usually the hip measurement is usually the widest of either the bust, the waist, or the hip, except some people who have a body structure whereby the bust is the widest. If that is you, then you can use your bust measurement. However, if you have a regular or average body size whereby the hip is wider than your bust and your waist, just use the hip measurement. So we have our length, full length, we have our back to sleeve, and then we have our wideness of the body. That's all. 3 basic measurements. Now, for you to cut this bubu again, you just need 3 basic steps. You are wondering, Jimmy, why is everything just 3? It doesn't pass 3. It's as simple as that. This is ABC of learning. We are just simplifying everything so you can quickly get it. Now, remember when we were doing buba, I said that the length of the buba is what you will use to cut the bodice of the buba. The same thing goes with this bubu too. The length of the bubu plus 1 inch sewing allowance is what you will use to cut out the bodice of this bubu from the whole fabric. When we were doing buba, we said that assuming the length is 25, add 1 inch sewing allowance, 26, then measure 26 inches, then you fold into 2 places. That means 52 in all. And then you measure out 26, fold it into 2, then cut it out. The same thing exactly for this bubu too. The length is 56 inches. My sample measurement is 56 inches. I'm adding 1 inch sewing allowance to make it 57. And now I'm measuring 57 out of my fabric, then I'll double it. You understand? When you double 57, it's going to give you like 114 inches in all. Do you understand? So you cut it out from all the other fabric. So you leave that one, you don't need it again, except if you want to remove the scarf from it. So it is that 114 inches folded into 2 to make 57 is what you will use to cut your bubu. So that is the first step. Remove the bodice of the bubu. How do you do it? The length of the bubu plus 1 inch sewing allowance, then measure it out from the fabric, double it, then you cut it out. If the length is 56 plus 1, making 57, measure 57 inches from your fabric, double the 57 to make 140, then you cut out 140 inches from your fabric. Simple, right? That is the first step. Now the second step, remember I said when we cut out our buba like this, then we will turn it like this, and then we double fold. Just to remember that folding for buba, it is the exact folding for your bubu too. You can see now you're already getting this and you're graduating gradually. All right, so that is the folding again. So you have your folding like this folded edge like this. Then from this folded edge, you measure your back to sleeve across the shoulder, wherever it stops. For this sample measurement, I'm using 19. You understand? So I'm going to measure the back to sleeve from this edge. I wouldn't have removed the neckline. The neckline is what I'll remove last. So imagine that the neckline is not yet removed. You understand? So from this upper part of the edge, measure the 19 across this shoulder. Wherever it stops, measure it at the base too. Do you understand? My base is, my base, there is nothing removed from. So like you measure 19 inches from here, then you measure it across to this place. That is 19 inches. Then you connect the line. You understand? Then you also cut it out. Do you understand? Okay. So, but make sure you use your own back to sleeve. This is a sample measurement. So the moment you remove your back to sleeve measurement, then you cut it out again. Then you have the bodice of your bubu. Now that's the second step. Let me go over it again. After you have already double folded, then you measure your back to sleeve across the shoulder. You measure the back to sleeve. Wherever it stops, you mark it. Go to the base, do the same thing, measure back to sleeve from here. Wherever it stops, mark it. Then use your ruler and your chalk to connect the line. Then you cut it out. That is it. That now you have the bodice of your bubu. And after you have done that, then the third step now is just to remove the neckline of the bubu. Same thing as you remove the neckline of your bubu. I gave you sizes then. I use 3.5 with 3.5. Use 3.5 with 4 inches. Use 4 by 4 inches. You can also use 4 by 4.5 inches, depending on the size of the person you are sewing for. So you just come to this edge, measure your neckline, and voila, you are done. 3 basic steps to cut your buba. Then how do you sew it? First thing you can use your bias to fold in the neckline. After that, then you use your wideness to join. You are going to join it on the front side like this. You use your wideness to join the two sides. Now for you to do that, you have to leave 10 inches from your shoulder for your armhole. You need to put your hand. You can't start sealing it from the shoulder. Taylor, you don't do that now. So you need to leave 10 inches from your shoulder. You measure it down on this side, measure it down on this side before you start sewing. Then also for the lower part too, you can't just sew straight down. You need to move with your legs. Make sure you measure 13 inches down too. Measure it up, leave it for your slit. So you now connect between the 10 inches, after the 10 inches, connect your wideness to where the slit to ends, or where the slit ends at the base. What's next? Just double fold the edges. These edges. Double fold it around on this side, double fold it around this side, double fold the base. You are ready to hear your and that's just as simple as that. You can go to my Facebook page, GB below. Go and check the outline there with pictures. We can't upload pictures here. You can check the outline there with pictures, and you'll be able to better understand it. Now don't forget, I'm compiling all this into a digital sewing workbook. I'm sure you will love to have something like that. Yes, when it is ready, I'll let you know. So in my next video, we are still learning to sew. I'll either do a short skirt on your trousers. A simple trousers that you can sew, and it's also going to be fashionable that you can wear by yourself at home. You can get a top on it. That I'm actually putting a trousers under this. Well, maybe you see it when we are cutting the trousers. So till then, I'll see you later on GB Video. Bye bye.